I have heard it said that we should talk less and act more. And this, as a general principle, I must disagree with. Because talking is acting. The best action sometimes is a conversation. It's to agree to disagree, exchange views, share opinions, present facts, tell a story, fill the gap, connect the links. You cannot do that by just taking action. And what is taking action? So I come back to the same assertion that acting more and talking less does not really jive every time, because talking is acting. That's why I'm telling the stories, so that we can connect the gap which exists between our generations. Just yesterday, I was 20, 25, 30 years have passed. And I get the feeling as if there is a sort of a gap, there is a widening gap between me and the present generation of younger Dominicans, younger Bishi people. So the idea here on Calibishie Chronicle is to bridge that gap, build links, so that we have a better understanding of who we are, then, now, and in the future. If we do not tell our children the stories of our past, the stories that should have been told to us, the stories will be lost. So let us continue telling the stories. And let us stop judging the children. And that is what I would like to focus on for the next 3.5 minutes on this episode of Calibishie Chronicle. We are very judgmental of present generations. And we say all sorts of fancy things about them to suggest that the way they value life, the way that they act, the way that they present, this matter of the social media, of the internet is, I have heard people say it's a devil's thing. No. The information superhighway, the internet is the new society. And the same bad things that we did before, that is being now done using the internet, has been done before. It is only now being glorified, presented in real time. But can you imagine if everything that you and I did when we were boys was on the internet? What would have been said about us? So 20, 25 years ago, 30 years ago, the activities that we were engaged in does not make us any superior, any better than the children today, the younger people today, who do similar things, or even less egregious things than some of the things that past generations would have done. So that is an appreciation that we must have. That is a determination that we must make as we continue to grow our communities and our country. Embrace the youthful energies that we have. And the youthful energies now must be willing to be embraced, because a number of you call people who are just 50 old, thinking that you're going to remain 20 and 25 and 30. Even people at 40 looking at somebody who's 50 and say, you old? Really? So I think attitudes must change. And the way in which we change those attitudes is by learning to tolerate each other. Tolerate the stories that I'm telling. I only tell it in 5 minutes at a time. So try at least listen to the 5 minutes and see what sense you can make of it, and how we can bring more ideas together. How we can share our Calibishie narrative, and how we can grow a better community. Because the things that you might have been told about me and others who you probably did not experience growing up with may not be the reality. And I think in most cases are not the reality, or is not the reality. So let us trust each other's stories and contribution to the levity. And let us exist on a platform that is not set for us by people who wish to have us disbelieve each other, or not to agree, or not to appreciate the true community vibe that we share. Now, I may have spoken in some parables because I think I deliberately did so, and in future episodes I will break it down a bit more. All I'm saying is that The gap which exists between then and now needs to be mended so that we have a better understanding of our peoples and the contribution that we made to the development of our community and our country. That's it on Calibishie Chronicle until the next episode.